The sky above Zetheria shimmered in colors no human eye had ever seen. Clouds of soft violet floated slowly over crystal rivers that wound through forests of glowing trees. Each tree pulsed with light as if the forest itself breathed. The air carried a gentle hum, like the quiet rhythm of an enormous heartbeat. This was a world alive in ways beyond imagination. Kale, one of the Zetherian guides, stood on a hill overlooking the capital city. His long, silver-blue skin reflected the light of the twin suns that warmed the land. His eyes, large and golden, scanned the horizon with careful attention. Today was special. Very special. The humans were coming. For years, Zetheria had observed humanity from afar. Using silent satellites and cloaked scouts, they had watched Earth civilizations rise, fight, and struggle. Zetherians had seen the destruction humans could cause, but also the kindness and creativity they carried. Kale had always believed humans could be something more, something extraordinary. The reports were clear. A Terran ship was entering Zetheria's atmosphere, but the ship appeared earlier than expected, rising from the clouds with a sudden flash of light. Kale's heart skipped a beat. Their careful preparations had been disrupted. Calm, he whispered to himself. His voice carried only to the few nearby guards who nodded silently. The Zetherians had been trained for diplomacy. They had been trained for patience. Yet Kale could feel the tension ripple through the crystal fields below. The Terran ship was not large, but it was solid and bright, reflecting the twin suns like polished steel. Its shape was unfamiliar to Zetherians, flat on the sides, rounded at the front, with tiny lights blinking in sequence along its hull. Humans were unpredictable, always unpredictable. As the ship landed, the soil of Zetheria's plains trembled. Dust rose in shimmering waves, floating briefly before dissolving into the thin air. The hatch opened slowly and humans began to emerge. Their suits were white and blue, marked with symbols that the Zetherians had studied but never touched. They moved carefully, like creatures unsure if they were safe, yet curious about the world around them. Kyle stepped forward. He was taller than the humans, his movements smooth and calm. "Welcome," he said, his voice amplified through a translator that made words understandable to the humans. "I am Kale, guide of Zetheria. We have waited for you." A human approached, slightly hesitant but smiling. She removed her helmet, revealing hair the color of dark chocolate and eyes that gleamed with intelligence. "I am Dr. Ilara," she said. "We have traveled far to meet you. We come in peace." Kyle tilted his head slightly, studying her. Peace. That word had been whispered by countless civilizations, yet often it had led only to misunderstanding. He decided to give her a chance. "Then peace you shall find," he said, gesturing toward the city visible in the distance. Its crystalline towers rose like giant spires of light, reflecting the skies above. Bridges of translucent material connected buildings that floated slightly above the ground. The humans stared in wonder. Even the most cautious of them could not hide their amazement. As they walked, Kale explained Zetheria's ways. "Our cities are alive. Our rivers carry more than water, they carry knowledge. Our forests speak if you listen." He paused and looked at Dr. Ilara. "We are ready to learn from you as well. We have studied your people, but we have never spoken to them until now." Dr. Ilara nodded. "We hope to share knowledge, and to learn from yours. Perhaps together, we can understand more than we ever could alone." The aliens listened carefully. Every gesture, every word carried meaning. Kyle noticed subtle expressions from the humans, the slight raising of eyebrows, the tense stance of their shoulders. They were nervous. So were the Zetherians. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the ground. Kale paused, lifting his hand. The humans froze. A moment later, Kyle spoke again. "It is the city welcoming you." At first, the humans did not understand. Then, slowly, their technology detected subtle pulses of energy flowing through the crystal bridges, harmonizing with their translators. The energy was not dangerous. It was alive. It moved in patterns that suggested greeting, respect, and curiosity. Dr. Ilara whispered almost to herself, "It's beautiful." Kale allowed a small smile. Beauty was a language all beings understood. Yet he remained cautious. "It is important you do not touch the structures unnecessarily. They are alive in ways that can be sensitive to foreign energy." The humans nodded, following him with care. Every step was a mix of wonder and caution. As they entered the city, holographic images began to appear above them. The images told Zetheria's history. Wars fought long ago, alliances made, discoveries achieved, and civilizations lost to neglect or aggression. Dr. Alara watched the images carefully. She spoke softly. Your history. It's both sad and inspiring. You've survived, grown, and created something magnificent. Kyle observed her with interest. Humans were often quick to judge or react emotionally, yet she seemed calm, understanding without forcing an opinion. That was a rare quality. The city opened into a large chamber filled with light, reflecting from the walls like rippling water. In the center, a circle of Zetherian elders awaited. They were taller than Kale, their bodies shimmering with light that shifted in color as they moved. Their eyes met the humans' gaze with curiosity yet without threat. One elder stepped forward. His voice was deep, resonant, and carried the weight of centuries. We have studied your kind. We have wondered what it means for humanity to reach beyond its world. Now we see you before us. We ask, why have you come? Dr. Alara took a deep breath. We come seeking knowledge, understanding, and friendship. We wish to learn from you as you may learn from us. We hope to create a future where our peoples can cooperate rather than destroy each other. The chamber was silent. The Zetherians spoke slowly among themselves, their voices forming soft harmonies that echoed like wind through crystal towers. Kyle sensed their curiosity, their hesitation, and a hint of hope. After a long moment, the elder spoke again. Peace is difficult to achieve. History has taught us that. Yet your words show intention. We will listen and we will share. But know this, peace is fragile. It must be nurtured by understanding, not assumed through words alone. Dr. Alara nodded. We understand, and we are willing to try. The humans and Zetherians began exchanging knowledge that day. The aliens demonstrated their methods of harnessing energy without destruction. They showed how their forests could store memories and how their cities could adapt to the needs of their inhabitants. The humans shared their own ideas, ways to travel faster in space, methods to communicate across distances, and strategies to prevent conflict before it starts. Yet as the day continued, Kale could not ignore a quiet unease. The sensors picked up a distant energy spike, one that did not match Zetheria's natural patterns. It was faint, almost unnoticeable, but enough to make him alert. He glanced toward the sky, where the twin suns cast long shadows over the crystalline spires. The humans, unaware, continued their discussions. Dr. Alara noticed a few anomalies in the energy readings but dismissed them as minor fluctuations. Still, Kale knew better. Something or someone was approaching Zetheria, something that might not come with peaceful intentions. For now, they had time. For now, they could learn, speak, and understand one another. Kale hoped it would be enough to prepare them for what might come. As the twin suns began to set, casting long violet shadows over the city, Kale looked at the humans again. They were strange, fragile, unpredictable, but also capable of greatness. In that moment, he felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps humanity could rise to meet the universe, not with fear or violence, but with courage, curiosity, and the desire to understand. The quiet hum of Zetheria's life continued. Crystals pulsed, rivers shimmered, and the forest whispered in ways only the patient could hear. Kale closed his eyes for a moment, listening. The future was uncertain, but today was a beginning, a first step toward something larger than themselves. And yet, deep in the distance, beyond the mountains and clouds, a faint shadow moved. It came from nowhere, silent and sudden, as if the galaxy itself was about to remind them that even the purest intentions could face unexpected challenges. The night on Zetheria was unlike any night on Earth. The twin moons reflected in the crystal rivers, scattering soft light across the glowing forests. Even in darkness, the city shimmered with life, its towers pulsing gently as if breathing. The humans had not slept despite the long journey. Their eyes were wide with wonder, taking in every detail of a world that seemed more dream than reality. Kale led Dr. Alara and her small team deeper into the city. They walked along elevated bridges made of translucent crystal. Below, the rivers glowed with light, flowing in patterns that seemed almost like words, messages from the planet itself. Your cities. They're alive, Dr. Alara whispered, reaching out but stopping just short of touching the glowing rail. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this, Kale nodded. Everything here is connected. The rivers, the trees, the buildings, they all share energy and information. Our civilization grows because we listen to the world around us. The humans paused at the entrance of a large hall. Inside, holographic projections floated above the ground, showing images of Zetheria's history. Wars fought long ago were depicted not in blood, but in shimmering abstract colors. Alliances were shown as intertwining streams of light, growing stronger when cooperation succeeded. Kale gestured toward the images. These are lessons from our past. We have survived because we learned from mistakes and worked together. The future of our world depends on understanding, not aggression. Dr. Ilara studied the images carefully. Your people, you've survived so much and yet you've built something beautiful. There is a lot we could learn from you. Kyle smiled faintly. And there is much we can learn from you. Humanity has something special. Your creativity, your courage, your willingness to take risks. But it's also your potential for destruction. That is why we watch and now we speak. The humans exchanged looks. They had hoped for peaceful contact. But hearing Kyle speak so honestly made them realize the gravity of the situation. Peace would not come easily. Trust would need to be earned. One of the human engineers, a young man named Ryan, pointed to the projections. These colors, they seem like more than just history. Are they warning us of something? Kale's golden eyes narrowed slightly. Perhaps. Our records are not just memories, they are signals. They carry lessons in ways that cannot always be explained in words. You must listen carefully. The humans nodded, sensing that the aliens' knowledge was deeper than anything they had encountered. Dr. Ilara felt a strange excitement mixed with fear. For all their technology, Earth had never truly met another civilization so unlike their own. The elders of Zetheria entered the hall, their presence commanding but not threatening. Each elder glowed softly, their forms reflecting the history projected around them. They circled the humans, speaking in harmonic tones that the translator converted into simple words. "We have observed your kind for centuries," one elder said. "We know your history. You have reached beyond your world. You have sought knowledge. Yet your species is divided, fragile, and often conflicted. We ask, why seek us now? Why come to a place you do not fully understand?" Dr. Ilara stepped forward, choosing her words with care. "We come because we believe there is more to humanity than conflict. We have reached the stars and we have realized that we cannot grow alone. We want to learn from other civilizations and perhaps share what we have learned in return. We seek understanding, not conquest." Kale felt a flicker of hope. The words were honest, and they carried a sincerity rare among humans he had observed from afar. But he knew words alone were not enough. Actions would prove their intent. The elders paused, communicating silently among themselves. Then one elder spoke again. "Peace is fragile. Words can promise it, but only choices can create it. Show us your intentions. Show us that your presence here can bring balance, not destruction." The humans nodded. Dr. Ilara looked at her team. "We can do that. We must." Over the next hours, the Zetherians and humans exchanged knowledge. The aliens demonstrated how their cities maintained balance with nature, how their forests could store knowledge, and how their energy systems worked without causing harm. The humans shared their own discoveries, new propulsion methods, ways to communicate across galaxies, and strategies for peaceful conflict resolution. Kale observed carefully. The humans were attentive, but he noticed subtle signs of tension. Their technology, while advanced, carried traces of aggression. Weapons were present even if unused. He understood. Humans were cautious by necessity, shaped by countless threats in their own history. But he hoped they could learn a different way, a way that relied on trust rather than force. Dr. Ilara approached one of the holographic displays, studying patterns in the flowing energy of the Zytherian city. "These signals, they seem like warnings," she said quietly to Kale. "Some patterns suggest that something or someone may be approaching. Something we cannot see yet." Kale's expression grew serious. "You are perceptive. There are always forces beyond our sight. We cannot always predict them. That is why we practice vigilance as well as peace." As the discussion continued, a small group of human scientists explored other parts of the city, documenting the alien systems. One of them, a young engineer named Lyra, accidentally touched a crystalline wall. It pulsed immediately, sending a wave of energy that was harmless but startling. Light patterns formed in the air, almost like a wordless message. Lyra stepped back quickly, realizing that every part of this world was alive and sensitive. Kyle explained, Cytheria communicates through energy. Touch with care, or the message may be misunderstood. The humans adjusted quickly, respecting the living structures. They began to understand the rhythm of the city, the subtle ways it spoke to those who paid attention. For the first time, Dr. Ilara felt a real connection to this alien civilization. Not just intellectual, but emotional. As night deepened, the twin moons bathed the city in soft silver light. The humans gathered in the central chamber with Kale and the elders. A large map appeared above them, showing Cytheria and nearby star systems. Streams of energy traced paths between planets representing trade, communication, and travel routes. One elder spoke, pointing to the lines. The universe is vast. There are many civilizations, some peaceful, some dangerous. Your arrival here is significant. It is a chance for cooperation, for learning, and for growth. But the universe is not gentle. You must be ready, Dr. Ilara nodded solemnly. We understand. We want to be ready. We want to choose the path of peace even if it is difficult. Kyle felt a sense of pride. These humans, for all their flaws, had the courage to speak honestly and to listen carefully. That was the first step toward true understanding. Yet as he observed the night sky, he could not shake the feeling of unease. Far beyond Cytheria, hidden in the dark void between stars, something moved. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it carried energy unlike anything Kale had ever sensed. For now, it remained distant. For now, the humans could learn, explore, and exchange knowledge. But the shadow in the stars was a reminder. Peace must always be prepared for, and the universe did not wait for civilizations to be ready. Dr. Ilara noticed a slight vibration under her feet, a faint pulse that was easy to miss. She pointed it out to Kale. Do you feel that? The ground. It's moving differently. Kale nodded, his eyes narrowing. The city is sensing it as well. Cytheria's energy flows are slightly disturbed. It is minor, but it is the first sign that change approaches. We must remain vigilant. The humans looked uneasy, but they trusted Kale's calm demeanor. He led them to a high balcony overlooking the glowing forests, where the rivers reflected the twin moons. Look at this world, he said. Everything here is connected. Every choice you make will affect it. Every decision you take must honor that connection. Dr. Ilara watched the city with awe. I think I understand. Peace isn't just an agreement between people. It's a responsibility to the world around us, to life itself. Kale smiled faintly. Exactly. And that responsibility grows when you step into the stars. Today you have taken the first step. Tomorrow we must take another, together. The humans looked at the night sky, imagining the stars beyond Cytheria and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. They felt hope, and unknowingly the first whispers of a challenge that would test them in ways they could not yet imagine. For now, the city of Cytheria pulsed with quiet life. Streams of light danced over rivers and trees, welcoming the humans to a civilization built on understanding, patience, and the hope for a future where cooperation could thrive. And far beyond the glowing horizon, unseen and silent, a faint shadow moved closer. Something had noticed the Terran ship. Something was coming. Part 3. The Terran ship's secret. The sky above Cytheria had grown darker, though the twin moons still cast a gentle silver light over the glowing forests and crystal rivers. The city remained alive, its towers pulsing softly as if sensing something beyond the horizon. Kyle stood on the highest observation deck, his golden eyes scanning the skies. He had felt it before, the subtle disturbance in Cytheria's energy flows. Now it was growing. And then, as if answering the universe itself, a new ship appeared, rising from the void with an impossible speed. Unlike the small Terran vessel that had first arrived, this ship was massive. It dwarfed the tallest Cytherian towers and blocked the light of one of the moons. Its hull was metallic black, absorbing the twin sun's reflection rather than reflecting it. Lights blinked along its edges, sharp and cold. Dr. Ilara and her team watched in awe and fear. Is it human? She whispered. Kale's voice was calm but carried tension. It is Terran, yes, but not the kind we expected. It is different, dangerous. The massive ship descended slowly, its shadow falling over the city like a dark cloud. Its energy readings were unlike anything Cytheria had encountered before. There was power there, restrained but ready. The ship's purpose was unclear, but the signs were unmistakable. It was armed, and it was prepared for confrontation. A hatch opened on the ship's underside, revealing a small landing pod that descended swiftly to the ground. Humans and Zetherians alike watched as a figure emerged. He was tall, armored, and carried a demeanor of authority. Kale immediately recognized the aura of command. This was no scientist, no explorer. This was a military leader. The human who stepped forward introduced himself with a sharp tone, his words carrying a weight that made the Zetherians pause. "I am Admiral Joran. I represent the Terran Authority. You are not authorized to welcome foreign life forms without clearance. Your presence here could threaten Terran interests." Kyle's eyes narrowed slightly. "We are not threats. We are allies in knowledge and peace. These humans—" He gestured to Dr. Alara and her team. "Come in peace." Admiral Joran's gaze swept over the city, cold and calculating. Peace is a word humans use too often. "I do not trust your intentions. I demand full access to this planet's energy systems and technology for inspection." Dr. Alara stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "Admiral, the planet is alive. Its systems cannot be controlled without causing harm. We must find another way. We came here to learn and to cooperate, not to conquer." Joran's eyes flicked to her, sharp and unyielding. "I do not negotiate on speculation. Your intentions are irrelevant. Terran authority takes precedence. You will comply or you will face consequences." Kale felt the tension rising like a storm ready to break. He motioned for his guards to stay back but alert. The humans looked uncertain. They had arrived seeking peace, yet they now faced the possibility of conflict with their own kind. Dr. Alara glanced at Kale, worry shadowing her eyes. He's different from the team that came before. More rigid, more dangerous," Kale nodded. "We have not faced this before. But we will not allow Zetheria to be harmed. We must act wisely, but we must act." Inside the city, the elders communicated silently. Their light pulses moved faster than normal, signaling concern. Kyle understood. If Joran's orders were followed, Zetheria's energy systems could be damaged and the planet itself could be destabilized. The peaceful exchange that had begun was now under threat. Admiral Joran advanced closer, stepping onto the crystal streets. His boots left no mark, yet energy from the city reacted subtly, creating faint ripples in the floor. Kale watched carefully, aware that even a small misstep could spark a catastrophe. Dr. Alara and Rian moved forward to speak again. "Admiral," she said, "please consider the consequences. The technology here is connected to the life of this planet. Any attempt to control it forcibly could destroy more than just machines." Joran's expression hardened. "That is a risk I am willing to take. Terran authority does not pause for risk. We act to protect humanity's future." Kale's mind raced. He needed a plan. Direct confrontation would lead to disaster, yet inaction could allow Zetheria to be harmed. He considered the ancient technology the elders had shown him, devices capable of neutralizing energy, weapons, but they required cooperation. Between Zetherians and humans willing to act, he turned to Dr. Alara quietly. "We may have to work together in secret. There is a device that can neutralize the weapon he carries, but it requires human and Zetherian collaboration." Alara's eyes widened. "We can do it, we must. If we fail, Zetheria could be destroyed." Kale nodded, signaling her to follow him through a network of quiet corridors that led beneath the city. The humans and Zetherians moved carefully, avoiding Joran and his patrols. Every step required silence, patience, and coordination. The walls of the tunnels pulsed with light, as if aware of the danger above. As they reached the chamber housing the ancient device, Kale explained its function. "It can neutralize energy weapons in a wide area, but it is delicate. Misuse could destabilize the city. Only careful cooperation will succeed." Ryan examined the device. "It's more advanced than anything on Earth. How do we even begin?" Kale gestured to the controls. "We will follow my instructions. Trust in the technology and trust in one another. This is not just about survival. It is a test of choice, the choice to protect rather than destroy." The humans began synchronizing their equipment with the Zetherian interface. Light flowed through cables and crystal conduits, forming patterns that resembled words in a language neither side fully understood. Yet the rhythm was clear. They were working as one. Above them, Admiral Joran was making his final preparations. The ship's main weapon charged slowly, humming with energy that vibrated even through the city's defenses. The light was bright and threatening, yet Kale remained calm, guiding the humans through each step. "Almost there," Kale whispered.
Keep your focus.
"We must act together." Dr. Ilara adjusted a connection, her hands steady despite the tension. "It's ready," she said. Kale nodded. Now, the device activated. A pulse of soft blue energy spread through the city and out toward the Terran ship. The weapon aboard Joran's vessel reacted immediately, but instead of firing, it was neutralized. The pulse drained its energy safely without causing harm. Joran's eyes widened. "Impossible, how—" Kale stepped forward, calm and firm. "Peace requires courage, not weapons. Cooperation can achieve what aggression cannot." The Terran admiral hesitated, then slowly nodded, realizing his mission had been foiled without destruction. He signaled his crew to power down the weapon. The humans around him looked relieved, and Kale could sense the tension in Zetheria's energy begin to ease. Dr. Ilara let out a quiet breath. "We did it. Zetheria is safe for now," Kale nodded. "Yes, and today humanity proved something important. Your choices matter. Your cooperation matters. You have shown that even when facing danger from your own kind, it is possible to choose peace." The device slowly powered down, leaving the chamber bathed in soft light. Kale looked at the humans, pride shining in his golden eyes. "This is the first true step toward understanding. The universe will test you, but today you chose wisely." Outside, Admiral Joran and his crew prepared to depart. The humans had acted bravely, and the Zetherians had demonstrated the value of careful planning and trust. For now, the city returned to its peaceful rhythm, though Kale knew the shadow in the stars had not fully passed. He gazed upward at the twin moons and then to the horizon. "Peace is possible," he whispered to himself. "But vigilance must never end. And humanity. Humanity has the potential to rise to the stars not as conquerors but as allies." Dr. Ilara stood beside him. "Kale, do you think this is the start of something bigger?" Kale smiled faintly. "Yes, but it will take time, effort, and courage. And tomorrow will bring new challenges." The city of Zetheria pulsed gently under the twin moons. Streams of energy reflected from towers to rivers, whispering of life, growth, and understanding. And far beyond the horizon, distant stars waited, full of possibilities, full of dangers, and full of opportunities for those willing to choose peace over conflict. The next day on Zetheria was quiet but not peaceful. The city's towers pulsed softly in the morning light as if holding their breath. The humans and Zetherians had survived the sudden arrival of Admiral Joran's ship, but Kale knew the threat had not ended. The Terran admiral's intentions were clear. He distrusted peace, and he would return if he sensed weakness. Kyle gathered Dr. Ilara, Ryan, and Lyra in a secluded chamber beneath the city. The walls glowed softly, reacting to their presence yet offering privacy. "We cannot allow Zetheria to remain vulnerable," Kyle said. "The device that neutralized Joran's weapon is powerful, but it cannot be used recklessly. It must be controlled carefully, and it requires cooperation between our species." Dr. Ilara nodded. "We're ready, Kale. What do we need to do?" Kale gestured to a network of crystal conduits running along the chamber floor. "We will connect your equipment to our systems. Together we can strengthen the defensive fields of the city and prevent any aggressive action from harming us. But this is more than technology. This is trust. You must act as one." Ryan examined the conduits, his brow furrowed. "It's complex, but I think we can manage it if we follow your instructions carefully." Kyle led them through the steps, explaining how the device worked. The energy flows must align perfectly. One mistake could destabilize the city's defenses. Focus, patience, and cooperation are essential. Hours passed as humans and Zetherians worked side by side. Light flowed through the conduits, forming intricate patterns in the air. The humans marveled at the technology, seeing how the Zetherians had integrated energy, life, and intelligence into every system. Lyra's hands moved deftly, adjusting connections and stabilizing fluctuations. As the work continued, Kale noticed a change in the humans. Their initial fear was being replaced by confidence. They were learning to adapt to Zetheria's unique systems, understanding the rhythm of the energy flows. Even Dr. Ilara, who had been cautious, now moved with precision, her trust in Kale and the planet growing. But vigilance remained. Kale's sensors detected a small hidden vessel approaching Zetheria from the far edge of the atmosphere. It was not Joran's ship, but it carried enough power to disrupt the city if left unchecked. Kale's concern deepened. "This is a test," he said quietly to Dr. Ilara. "It is not only the physical danger you face, it is the test of your choices, your ability to act with wisdom and courage. Humanity is being measured, not by strength but by integrity." Dr. Ilara swallowed hard, her mind racing. "We can do this." "We have to," Kale nodded. "Good, then let us proceed." The hidden vessel fired a low-energy pulse at Zetheria. It was not intended to destroy but to provoke a reaction. The humans felt the vibration, a subtle tremor that rippled through the city. Panic could have spread, but instead Dr. Ilara and her team remained calm. Kale guided them, instructing precise adjustments to the conduits. The pulse was absorbed harmlessly, neutralized by the cooperative effort of humans and Zetherians. The city remained safe and the hidden vessel withdrew, unable to breach the defenses. "You see," Kale said, "strength alone is not enough. The courage to act wisely, the patience to cooperate, and the willingness to trust others, these are what protect us." The humans nodded, understanding the lesson. The trial had been subtle, almost invisible, yet it had proven their ability to rise above fear and self-interest. It was a sign that humanity could grow beyond its past mistakes. Later, Kyle led the humans to a quiet terrace overlooking the glowing forests. The twin moons hung low in the sky, casting soft silver light across the crystal rivers. The world seemed peaceful, yet Kale knew the galaxy would not always allow calm to last. "You have passed the first challenge," Kale said, "but the universe is vast and threats can appear at any moment. You must be ready not only with technology but with your hearts and minds. That is what makes true allies." Dr. Ilara looked out at the forests below. "Kale, do you think humans can truly rise to that level? To act with courage and wisdom together?" Kale smiled faintly. "I believe they can. Today you have shown it. But it is a choice that must be made every day. The universe will test it again and again." As they spoke, the humans noticed something remarkable. The forests themselves seemed to respond to their presence. Crystals pulsed in rhythm with the humans' movements, as if acknowledging their cooperation. Even the rivers of light reflected patterns that resembled words: trust, courage, hope. "It's almost as if the planet itself recognizes what we've done," Ryan said, awe in his voice. Kale nodded. "Zetheria is alive in ways you cannot fully comprehend. It judges intentions, not words. Today your intentions were clear, but Kale's senses remained alert. The faint shadow from before was still in the distance, moving silently. It had not approached yet, but he knew it would not remain distant forever. The galaxy was full of forces waiting for weakness. Dr. Ilara turned to him. "Kyle, if something stronger comes—" "Something we cannot handle, what then?" Kale's gaze was steady. "Then we act as we have learned, together. Alone, either species could fail. But together we are capable of far more than we imagine." The humans absorbed his words. It was a lesson not just in survival, but in cooperation, in seeing beyond fear and suspicion to a higher purpose. For centuries, humans had been torn by conflict. For centuries, Zetherians had observed from afar, hoping humanity could rise to meet its potential. Today they had taken the first real step. Even as the night deepened, Kale arranged a meeting with the Zetherian Council. The elders glowed softly, acknowledging the humans' efforts. "They have acted with wisdom," one elder said. "Their choices show that they may grow to be allies, not threats." Dr. Ilara felt a sense of pride tempered by caution. "We have proven something today," she said. "But I know this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast and there will be other tests, other dangers." Kale nodded. "Yes, but today you have chosen the path of peace. That choice will echo beyond Zetheria. That choice matters." The humans spent the remainder of the night in reflection, observing the glowing forests and the shimmering rivers. Lyra and Rian discussed ways to integrate Zetherian technology with human knowledge, imagining new methods of space travel, communication, and energy management. But even in their excitement, they remained mindful of Kale's lessons. Courage, cooperation, and integrity mattered more than technology alone. As dawn approached, the city of Zetheria pulsed with gentle life. Streams of light flowed between towers, reflecting off the rivers and into the forests. The humans and Zetherians stood together, united not only by technology but by choice, by understanding, and by the desire to act wisely in the face of uncertainty. Cale gazed at the horizon, sensing the faint movement of distant energy. The shadow in the stars had not left. It waited, but now he felt hope. Humanity had shown it could rise to challenges, could act with patience and courage, and could choose cooperation over fear. The universe would continue to test them, he knew. But Zytheria had given humanity its first real chance to prove that it was capable of more than destruction. It was capable of greatness. Tomorrow, Cale said quietly, we will face what comes next. But today you have earned trust. Remember it, and let it guide you in the challenges ahead. Dr. Alara looked at him, determination shining in her eyes. We will. We have learned much, but there is still more to do, and we will rise to meet it, Cale nodded. The stars above twinkled faintly, silent witnesses to a small but significant victory. The humans had passed a test not of strength but of spirit, and in doing so, they had taken their first true step toward a future that could reach far beyond Zytheria, or even their own world, and somewhere beyond the distant stars. The faint shadow stirred again, waiting for the moment to return. The test of humanity was not over. But for now, Cale allowed himself to feel a quiet hope. The choice for peace, once made, could shine brighter than the darkness yet to come. The twin suns of Zytheria rose slowly above the glowing forests, painting the sky with gold and violet light. It was a calm morning, but under that beauty, tension still lived in every heart. The humans and Zytherians had worked through the night to repair damaged systems and strengthen the city's defenses. The air carried both hope and uncertainty. Cale stood on one of the highest terraces, looking toward the horizon where the stars still faded in the morning light. He could feel that something was coming. The faint shadow that had lingered beyond the edges of Zytheria's sky was moving closer. He knew it was Admiral Joran. Dr. Alara joined him quietly. Her eyes looked tired, but her spirit was strong. He's coming back, isn't he? She asked. Cale nodded slowly. Yes, the readings are clear. The Admiral's ship is approaching again. This time he brings more than threats. He brings fear, and the hope that we will surrender. Ilara clenched her fists. We can't let that happen. Not after everything we've done. Cale's expression softened. You won't be alone. The Council stands with you now. Humanity has proven its courage. We will defend peace together. Below them, the city was alive with activity. Humans and Zytherians worked side by side. They were different in body and thought, but united in purpose. Lyra led a group of Zytherian engineers, while Ryan and the other humans coordinated defense codes and communication systems. For the first time, two species were working as one, without fear, without suspicion. When Admiral Joran's massive ship appeared in orbit, it cast a dark shadow across the planet. Its gray metal body looked cold against Zytheria's glowing surface. The Admiral's voice soon echoed through the communication channels. Zytheria, this is Admiral Joran of the Terran Command, he said sternly. We are here to secure human interests. Any resistance will be treated as hostility. You have 1 hour to comply. Dr. Alara replied calmly, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Admiral, stand down. We have established peaceful contact. There is no threat here. If you attack, you will destroy everything we have achieved. Joran's tone hardened. Peace is a lie told by the weak. You have forgotten your duty, Doctor. Humanity must lead, not bow. Cale listened in silence, understanding the danger. Joran was not only powerful but also afraid of losing control, afraid of what he could not understand. Kyle, Ilara whispered. What do we do now? Cale looked toward the city's heart, where the great energy core pulsed like a living star. We stand firm, he said. We show him that peace is not weakness. It is strength of a different kind. The Zytherian Council agreed to Cale's plan. Instead of responding with weapons, they would use the power of the energy core to create a defensive field around the planet, a shimmering shield that would protect without harming. But activating it required both human and Zytherian control codes. It would only work through cooperation. Rian and Lyra worked side by side at the main console. Their hands moved quickly, linking human systems to Zytherian energy flows. The conduits glowed brighter, threads of light weaving through the city like veins of hope. We're almost there, Ryan said, sweat on his forehead. Just a few more adjustments. But the Admiral's ship began charging its main cannon. Alarms echoed through the city. The sky turned red as beams of energy gathered above. Ilara shouted, "Hurry!" Kel raised his hands toward the sky, his voice deep and calm. "Hold your ground. Do not answer violence with violence." The cannon fired. A massive beam of light tore through the atmosphere, but it never reached the city. The energy field activated just in time, shimmering like a giant crystal dome. The beam hit the shield and spread harmlessly into the air, transforming into harmless waves of color. The people below gasped in awe. The entire planet seemed to shine brighter, as if declaring its choice to the universe. Dr. Ilara opened a channel again. "Admiral Joran, you have seen what peace can protect. We are not your enemies. We are your allies if you choose to listen." There was silence on the channel. The Admiral's face appeared on the holoscreen, stern, shocked, conflicted. "You could have destroyed us," he said quietly. "Why didn't you?" Kale stepped forward beside Ilara. "Because destruction is easy," he said. "Peace requires strength, the kind that does not fear understanding." Joran looked down, struggling between pride and realization. Behind him, his own crew whispered, uneasy about what they had seen. The power of Zytheria was undeniable, yet it had been used not to attack but to protect. Slowly, the Admiral gave his command. "Stand down. Power off the weapons." The humans in Zytheria cheered, and the Zytherians bowed their heads in calm relief. The threat was over, not by victory in battle, but by victory of spirit. Hours later, Admiral Joran requested permission to land. The Council hesitated, but Kyle agreed. "If humanity is to learn, its leaders must see what courage truly means," he said. When Joran arrived, he walked through the glowing city in silence. Everywhere he looked, he saw cooperation. Humans and Zytherians repairing systems together, sharing food, exchanging stories. It was not chaos or submission. It was harmony. Dr. Ilara greeted him respectfully. "Welcome, Admiral. I hope you can see now what we've built." Joran's face softened. "I did not believe this was possible. Humanity has always fought to survive, but you have shown another way." Kale approached. "Survival is important, Admiral. But without understanding, survival becomes emptiness. Together we can build something greater." For a long moment, Joran said nothing. Then he nodded. "Perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps peace is not surrender. It is another kind of power." That day, under the twin suns, the Zytherian Council and the Terran representatives signed the Zytheria Accord, a treaty of cooperation and exploration. It declared that both species would share knowledge, defend each other against real threats, and seek peace beyond their borders. When the agreement was sealed, the city erupted in light. The towers pulsed with radiant energy, and the rivers glowed like liquid stars. The humans watched in awe as Zytheria celebrated in its own living way. Ilara smiled at Kale. "It's beautiful," she said softly. Kale looked at her, his expression calm and proud. "It is more than beauty. It is hope made visible." That evening, a grand ceremony was held in the central plaza. Humans and Zytherians stood side by side beneath the luminous sky. Music, both human and alien, blended into a new harmony. It was the first shared song between their species. Admiral Joran spoke briefly to the crowd. "I came here expecting enemies," he said, "but I found partners. Zytheria has reminded me that strength is not only in weapons but in unity. Humanity will remember this day." Applause and light filled the air. For the first time in history, two distant worlds had chosen understanding over conflict. Later, when the ceremony ended, Kale and Dr. Ilara walked along the glowing river. The stars above reflected in its smooth surface. "Do you think this peace will last?" Ilara asked quietly. Kale's eyes stayed on the sky. "Peace is never certain. It must be chosen again and again. But now you know how to choose it." Ilara smiled. "Then we'll keep choosing it together." Kyle turned to her, his voice soft. "Then the galaxy will have hope." Far above them, in the darkness of space, a faint signal drifted, a whisper from the void. Unknown watchers observed the event with interest. The humans and Zytherians had formed something powerful, an alliance not built on fear but on courage and wisdom, and that more than any weapon would shape the future. As the twin moons rose once more, their light spread across Zytheria, touching every tower and river. Humanity had passed its first great test. Kale stood silently, feeling the heartbeat of the world around him. For the first time in many years, he believed that the stars might finally hold more than danger. They might hold friendship, discovery, and the promise of a new beginning. And somewhere deep within that promise, the story of humans, the species that learned peace among the stars, was just beginning.